We're now going to have a look at movements of the shoulder region. So specifically we're going to look at the shoulder joint to start with. So the shoulder joint will do flexion. So remember, flexion is decreasing an angle, this being the angle. So if it goes into flexion, it'll come up and decrease that angle. Extension is it coming back down to the anatomical midline. So seeing that from the front, we've got flexion, extension. We then have hyperextension, where it goes back beyond the anatomical midline. We then get abduction, where it takes the bone away to the side. Adduction, when it brings it back in. We then get medial and lateral rotation. So what's happening here is that's lateral rotation, so we can see the humerus turning on its own axis. Lateral rotation. Medial rotation is bringing it back in. We then get horizontal flexion. So when the arm's in a horizontal position, horizontal flexion, horizontal extension coming back. And then finally we get circumduction, which is a combination of all of the movements linked together. So that's the shoulder joint. If we now look at the shoulder girdle will do a few things as well. So it'll elevate, so the scapulars move up. It'll depress, so the scapulars can move down, and we can pull our shoulder blades down when we contract our pectoralis major and our lats. They'll pull the shoulder down. We'll get protraction, which is when I pull my shoulder blades forward, so as though I'm hugging something, really pulling my shoulder blades forward, so I feel a bit of a stretch in my upper back. So protraction, otherwise known as abduction, but the term protraction, everybody relates that straight away to the shoulder girdle movement. I protract, I retract, I pull them back into the middle, so I squeeze my shoulder blades together. Then we can get upward and downward rotation of the glenoid cavity. So this is the glenoid cavity, and what we'll then get, if you imagine my hands are the scapulars, upward rotation would be that action, downward rotation would be that action. So the bottom of the scapulars move inwards on downward rotation, and the top of the scapulars move out, so they do that action. And then upward rotation would be the opposite way. The upper aspect of the scapula would move inwards, the bottom aspect would move outwards, and the glenoid cavity would therefore move up. So it would do that action, upward rotation. Just something to bear in mind, the shoulder joint works as an integral part of the shoulder girdle, so it's incorporating the sternoclavicular and the acromioclavicular joints at the same time. So all muscles of the neck and the upper torso which attach to the scapula and the clavicle are involved in one way or another in every shoulder movement.